Today we're going to do the rapid fire book tag. I thought this would be a fun one to do. It's just I'm going to rattle off a bunch of questions and we're just going to go. I'm going to spit stuff at you. I'm not going to spit stuff at you. That would be gross. I'm going to fire off answers to these questions to you. So let's do it. Ebook or physical book? Physical book. Paperback or hardback? Depends on the situation. What am I doing? If it's for my collection, hardcover. And then if it's, I'm going somewhere or I'm going to be outside and whatnot, probably paperback. Online or in-store book shopping also depends. I mean, I guess in-store because I can look at the covers and look through them and there's so many different varieties, whereas online it's like I kind of have to have a specific idea of what I'm looking for. So I think I do lean more towards in-person shopping. Trilogies or series? Trilogies, because I am really bad about reading a series. I usually fall off at the third book, so trilogies. Like after the third, if I keep going, it's really surprising. I think the furthest into a series I've ever made it was the Wheel of Time series. I read through the 7th book and then I just fell off hard and have not been able to bring myself back around to trying to get past the 7th book. I would probably have to reread them because I don't remember everything that happened, but who knows? Maybe one day. This isn't really rapid fire because I'm going to probably spiral off on tangents about this stuff, but let's keep going. Heroes or villains? Also, subjective. I can't say one or the other. I mean, heroes are great, but sometimes, getting the story of the villain is also can be satisfying in a weird way, like when they have like the villain origin story, I find those fascinating. So it really just depends. A book you want everyone to read. Cool in the Cape by Josh Malerman. It is one of the best books I've ever read. I freaking loved it so much, but I need it to come out to mass market or it was only available as like a special release, and so it's really expensive, and I love that book so much. But one that everyone can access to read, I would say Magica by Clive Barker, one of my all-time favorite books. It's freaking awesome. I love it. Recommend an underrated book. An underrated book? How do I know if it's underrated? I'm gonna have to skip this one because I can't think of anything that I think is underrated. Pass. The last book that you bought. The last book I bought was at the library sale. There were several of them. They were Stephen King. It was Insomnia, 4 Past Midnight, and then there's one more that I can't think of. They're all Stephen King and they were like $1. Weirdest thing you've used for a bookmark. If you've been around the channel, you may know that the weirdest thing that I've used has been a sock. Used books, yes or no? Heck yes. I love the used bookstore, and library sales, yes. As long as they're not like chewed up and slobbered on by dogs or humans, I'll read it. Top 3 favorite genres. Horror, paranormal, sci-fi fantasy. Sci-fi fantasy, like I count that as one genre. Borrow or buy? Both. A lot of these for me are both, I feel like. I love the library, but I also like to buy books. I probably get more from the library than I buy, but I like both equally. Characters or plot? It depends. The characters will make the story, but sometimes atmosphere and place can lead to like the story being really great too. Maybe I'm leaning a little more characters because the characters do make the story. Without the characters, there is no story. So let's go characters. I talked myself into it. Long or short chapters? Okay, this I do actually have a preference. I do like short chapters because I feel like I'm like clicking along in the book and like we're getting somewhere. When they're really long, I kind of hate stopping in the middle of a chapter. I feel like I'm breaking off at a weird part. If they're short, I can obviously read to whenever and then end at a chapter and I don't have to worry about, oh god, it's going to be another 50 pages before this chapter is over. Next, name the first 3 books you think of. First 3 I think of. Okay, It by Stephen King, Magica by Clive Barker because I was just talking about it, and episode 13 because it's in my brain that I need to read that book soon and it's sitting on my bookshelf right now. I don't remember the name of the author for episode 13 though. Books that make you laugh or cry. I don't know. I'm put on the spot here. Laugh or cry. I know like I've cried in reading several books. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, I definitely shed a tear or two reading that one. That's the only one I can think of at the moment. I know there's more for sure. They're just not popping into my brain. Okay, our world or fictional worlds? Well, fictional worlds. Get me out of here. I like to escape into the fictional world of books. I mean, the real world is okay in small doses, but there is just so much crap going on that is sad and depressing. And so books are a nice world to jump into and explore other places inside the mind. Audiobooks, yes or no? I'm not a big audiobook reader, but I do like them on long car trips, so once in a while. So I guess yes, but on a regular basis, I will either do my e-reader or a physical book. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? I mean, I'll still read a book even if it has a crap cover. I read books based more on recommendations than I do for the cover, but there are some covers that are so awesome. I'm like, I want to read this book because of the cover. One of those, which is a book I read recently, was Scorched Grace. That cover is gorgeous. So it's a story, it's a mystery about all these fires that are happening, and the main protagonist is a queer punk rock nun, and the cover is this nun smoking a cig. It's stained glass, and it just looks really cool. Beautiful cover. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations? Honestly, I don't care either way. Both are fine. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book? I don't think I've ever preferred a show over the actual book. I mean, there's movies that did a really good job of portraying the book, and then there's some that have been really terrible, and the book is way better, but I don't know if I've ever preferred the movie or TV show over the book. Series or standalones? If it's a trilogy, cool. I'm not into series with like 20 plus books. I can't commit that much time. Like, I do love standalones more because it allows me to get into more variety and more stuff. Now, if it was manga, that'd be a different story because you can read those pretty quickly, and I feel like you can like take breaks in between. What I was talking about earlier, like reading a series like the Wheel of Time series, I've taken a break now for so long, it's been several years, that I would have to reread them to try and remember everything that was going on in there. So if you are a fan of tag videos, the next video coming up will be another tag video. So stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button and come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.